music played a huge role in my life. And the first punk band that I ever heard growing up was MxPx, and they're my favorite band to this day. And I heard them when I was like 9 years old. And this was funny because I went to a Christian elementary school at this time, and they at least used to be. They used to call themselves a Christian punk band. And here's the little terrorist right here. Hi,
what's the little terrorist's name?
Her name's Sushi.
Sushi. Oh, I like that. I won't.
Yeah, she's got lots of fat rolls, so just sticking with that. Yeah, so it was I started off kind of with like punk rock and everything, and they were kind of like, I don't know, my favorite bands, like all of them were like really talking about how to, you need to be yourself, you need to stand up for yourself, you need to rebel against authority because other people don't always know what's best for you, stuff like that, you know what I mean? And for me, as a young rebellious kid, that really resonated with me. Like I was like already like a troublemaker, but at the same time, I was in like you said, a pretty strict household. So like, where individualism wasn't encouraged or anything like that, like I wasn't able to, express myself in the way I wanted to. The whole punk band stuff, like it started this huge thing. Like, eventually my grandmother purchased me my first bass guitar, and I started playing music, and eventually guitar, keyboard, and I became a musician through my teenage years, and eventually started bands and toured the country. But all of that is thanks to, kind of like the punk bands that I was listening to growing up that were telling me, be yourself, go follow your own path or create your own path. Is really more so, what I was saying is like you create your own future, which to me, that's the essence of individualism. You can't rely on somebody else to do it for you, and as adults, we know this too, because, we're not going to be able to count on things like Social Security when we're old enough to retire. So we got to plan for retirement ourselves. And, like we get out of life what we put into it. And it really, like, even from a young age, I had a pretty good understanding, like, the more you put into life, the more you get out of it. And I don't know, like be unique. Don't be scared to go against the grain or go against the mainstream culture or against the crowd. That's always been a popular idea with me. So,
and it really does sound like it was a fairly profound experience at 9 years old, discovering this band and this music.
I would say so.
And maybe you didn't understand Social Security and system when you were 9 years old, but those same thoughts of being an individual and looking out for yourself and being yourself and not wanting to rely on others or the government. Like it's still kind of the same lessons shining through. And it seems like it's more than just this band, MxPx, being the first kind of punk band that you discovered. Because like you
first
said,
of many. Yeah,
because they've been around for a while. I pulled up their info here and I see they released 13 studio albums over the years.
I own every single album that they've ever put out. Like I have every single one. I've met them a million times, seen them a million times now. Like they're for sure, they're tattooed on my calf. Like they can't be more of a favorite band. They always will be. Even if I don't like listen to them every day, like they'll always be my favorite band because of the influence that they had on me. And their singer was like someone I looked up to growing up, so.
Do you have like a real personal or like a friendship or an acquaintanceship, if that's a word, with them from seeing them, or just, more like just a fan?
No, I'm really just a fan. Like I've met plenty of good bands in my lifetime and I've made friends with a lot of them. MxPx is not a band that I would say is like a friend. I'm definitely a fan. When I was 9, I mean, they were already like in their 20s putting out music, you know what I mean? So it's not like, they were already several albums deep into their career, and I was finding them for the first time. So
you were the 20th person at that show or that week that showed him a tattoo of the band.
Yes. I mean, I have several friends that have the same tattoo as me. Actually, someone we both probably know. Do you know DL Cummings?
I follow him.
Yeah. So he has the same tattoo as me on his calf as well. And we found out at Pork Fest this last year because he was at Pork Fest and we were both wearing shorts and we're like, oh, you're a Pokinatch, a punk? And we both compared tattoos. It's pretty funny.